Welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be looking at the MacBook Air M1 against the Lenovo ThinkPad X1 Carbon series. Now I'm not going to be comparing the individual specs under the hood, and that's simply because the M1 chip blows Intel out of the water, so that would be pointless, right? The MacBook Air M1 is the base model and I've been using it for under a year and it's the best laptop I've ever used. However, I've missed out on the basic gaming that Windows provides, particularly from the Steam library that I have. Now I'm going to admit, if gaming wasn't a factor, I really wouldn't be missing Windows. I could easily just carry on using macOS and my MacBook, but my Steam library of classic games is essential. Games like Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition, Star Wars Galactic Battlegrounds, the old Star Wars Battlefront 2, Star Wars Elite Force, and you get the picture. And the reason why I play these games is that they're classics and they came out when I was in school, didn't have a computer, couldn't play them except for Star Wars Galactic Battleground. Anyway, I don't want to give you too much of a life history, so I ended up getting a used Lenovo ThinkPad X1 Carbon 7th Gen, and it was because I needed that Windows laptop. Now it's got an 8th Gen i5 under the hood, 8GB of RAM, and the usual 256GB of storage. Now Lenovo claims up to 18 hours of battery, however I'm getting a respectable 6 to 10 hours on it. Now I did mention used, and the battery cycle is at 41, so it's not like it's lost a lot of capacity. There are a few blemishes on the case. I mean, just around it, a few scuff marks because of the nature of it. It is because of the carbon fiber case. You can't quite see it on the camera, but I know if I zoomed in you can. Yeah, even on the trackpad itself you can see not grease marks as such, but it's just the nature of this case. Use it like that for a while and it will have those marks, whereas my MacBook hasn't. One, because obviously it's metallic and I don't think it's been used as heavily as this ThinkPad over here. Now, why am I comparing it to an older ThinkPad? Why not just get the brand spanking new one and compare it to the MacBook? Well, the thing is, the chassis is the reason why I'm comparing it. Like I said before, not what's under the hood. We all know the M1 beats the i5, whereas the chassis is something completely else on the ThinkPads. And even with the 9th generation one of these, the latest ones, it's still the similar chassis, maybe a few different bits and pieces on it. So let's start comparing these two giants. Let's start off with the screen. So the MacBook Air M1 is Retina display, and so the resolution is more than the HD quality on the ThinkPad. However, I say however, this isn't too bad. It still looks fantastic because of the color application, the contrast on it, and it's still good. Yeah, the Air 1 screen blows it out of the water in terms of quality as well. However, I'm pretty sure the build quality is where it varies. If I were to slam this shut, I'm pretty sure my screen would crack. This one won't, and I'll get onto that a bit more later on with build quality. You know, Apple have obviously had that lawsuit happening. I don't know what's been the outcome of it. But if you took it into the Apple store with a cracked screen and it could be seen it generally wasn't your fault, they're a bit more receptive to changing it, but still I feel much more secure with this. And I did actually poke my finger on it. You know that watery ripply effect you get with LCD screens? I didn't actually get it with this. I don't want to test it again because I don't want any dead pixels. But clearly ThinkPad is the winner here. I would take a slightly lower screen quality over a better one, just so I can get a stronger screen quality on this. Now trackpad, ThinkPad has a solid trackpad. I mean, it's got the usual, it's got a separate right click on there, and it is brilliant. It's brilliant for a Windows laptop. However, the MacBook trackpad is the superior. It's the best one I've used. You just simply can't compare, but this is the best one on Windows that I have actually used. It's got the signature cursor, the red one in the middle of the keyboard. I think they used to do that back in the day when laptops were a lot bigger. It was more inconvenient to reach the trackpad, and it's quicker to move around, so I don't know if it's a traditional thing, they've just kept it, but it's kind of cool, but I don't really use it, to be honest. Keyboards. Now, the Magic Keyboard is the best Apple has released. The low key travel produces a low, satisfying, clicky sound, and the feedback after each key is great. However, my hands are big, and I've mentioned that so many times, I end up getting cramps with this keyboard. The Lenovo's ThinkPad has a slightly longer key travel, and I can actually type faster and more comfortably with my hands taking much longer to cramp. Now ThinkPads generally have some of the best keyboards, so there's no surprises here. So I believe that the ThinkPad wins it in terms of keyboard. Finally, overall build quality. The ThinkPad has been military tested. It can undergo freezing temperatures, extreme heat, It's waterproof to an extent, it's dust-proof, impact-proof, it can be dropped and it'll survive, and it's way lighter than any other laptop I've used. I mean, I'm lifting it with one hand. Look at that. I could forget about not being able to do it with the MacBook because of the weight. I'd just be too scared. The fact it's rugged and it's quite, well, not rugged, but the fact it's quite tough. Look at that. I'd never be able to tap my MacBook Air screen like that just because I'd be scared of damaging it. Yeah, I did pay more for that, but it just gives me confidence. You can even feel it's not going to smash in there. Such a strong quality build on it. You know, with the MacBook Air, I'm too scared to take it even out of my room, whereas this one's already been out of the house. Now, using this on the sofa is brilliant because of how light and compact it is and how strong it is. But it's got an 8th gen i5, which means it's going to heat up, especially if you block the vent. Now, thermals are very good on the ThinkPad, but it will warm up, particularly if you cover it, because the 8th gen i5s do actually heat up a bit. Blocking the vent will cause it to heat up, fan shoots on, and then, well, it doesn't actually slow down what's on the screen, which is interesting, but I don't want to damage the chipset because of it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm absolutely loving my Think One X1 Carbon at the moment. I'm even typing my scripts on this thing. I'm missing the integration of the Apple ecosystem at the moment, although Windows 11 security features are giving me more confidence. Remember to hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Make sure to like the video, and until next time.